Hey, Allison here. I wanted to start doing some videos about some topics that I've learned quite a bit about over the last few years. So for the month of March, I wanted to talk about the gut. Um, the gut plays a big role in our health. So we tend to start there, uh, focusing on the gut and the gut health at my current office as well. So I think usually when you address the gut and gut issues and get that healthy, then a lot of symptoms tend to go away. So the first video I want to do today is just talking about what does the gut do? What role does the gut play in your body? So, and then my other videos will get into different topics. So one thing that the gut does is it plays a role in digestion. I think probably most of us think of digestion when we think about what our gut does. So, basically from our mouth all the way down to the bottom, my kids call the poop spot. But basically all that, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, all that stuff is your gut essentially. And all that plays a role in digestion. So you think about from when you put food in your mouth, the reason you chew is to help break down the food, and then your mouth releases saliva and enzymes, and that starts the breakdown process of the food. And the reason that we have to break the food down is we have to get it to really small particles that our body can use it for, kind of breaks it down to fat, carbohydrates, and protein. So breaks all those particles down to very tiny forms. That way our body uses it for energy and cell metabolism and things like that. So digestion plays a big role. So, usually when it kind of gets down to the small intestine, that's when you're starting to absorb a lot of the nutrients. And then the large intestine, hey Carrie, the large intestine is more about reabsorption of water and salt, undigested food, bacteria, all that stuff forms our lovely poop. So that's why you want to poop like a couple times a day, not once a week, right? So if you're pooping once a week, something's wrong and you're like loaded up on toxins. So, so digestion. So that's a big one. The second role that the gut plays in your body is immune health. So, this is something I didn't really know much about. I knew that we had something called GALT, which is like gastro-associated lymphoid tissue. So I knew that there was some immune function that comes from the gut, but I always thought it was like my spleen and lymph nodes and all that stuff that played a role in your immune system, and all the white blood cells and things like that. But your gut is responsible for about 80% of your body's immune functions. So most of those come from all these bacteria that live inside our gut. So we have trillions and trillions of different gut bacteria, and there's probably anywhere from 500 to 1,000 different species. And those can be different based on different people and things that happen along the way. And in my next video, I'll get more into just specifically talking about this gut bacteria because I do a lot of stuff. But that's where kind of the immune system function comes from, is your gut bacteria and this gastro-associated lymphoid tissue. So if we're not taking care of our gut, it makes sense that it's linked to a lot of illnesses and chronic illness. Hey, Andy. Andy's in Washington, D.C. So if your gut's unhealthy, it's likely that you're going to have some other chronic things going on, chronic illness. Not just digestive issues, but it can be any kind of autoimmune, any kind of immune issue, skin, respiratory, that kind of stuff. So we need to take care of our gut. So we'll get more into that next video. The next cool thing that the gut does is it's our second brain. So this is really cool. Like when you kind of, that gut feeling, right? So you get nervous, you get butterflies in your stomach. Like there's a huge association between our brain, our first brain, and our second brain, which is our gut. You have a big nerve called the vagus nerve that goes all the way from up here down into your gut and back up. And your gut is responsible, it has like about 1 million nerve cells in your gut. So major neurotransmitters are made in the gut, like serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. So it makes sense that like if you're nervous, sometimes you get like IBS type symptoms. Like when I was in PA school, I had friends that would get like IBS stuff around test time because you're nervous. And that, anyway, same thing kind of like if you're excited or, that kind of stuff. Or if you're like, just trying to make a decision, you go, okay, you kind of have a feeling in your gut, like if it's a good decision or not. So there's a huge connection there. So that's really interesting to me. So 3 main things your gut does: digestion, which a lot of us know about, immune system, which some may or may not know. About 80% of our immune system comes from the gut. And then how it's our second brain. So a bunch of nerve endings and neurotransmitters made in the gut. So those are kind of the basics. Next video, I'm going to dive more into the immune system part and the gut bacteria and their role. And then as the month goes on, I'll talk about things that can affect our gut in a negative way, illnesses that can occur from that, and then how we can help our gut and how we can help heal our gut. So thanks for joining. I'll see you probably Wednesday will be my next video. Thanks.